Hello everyone. In this session, I will show you one exotic way how you can use Iroha. Basically, we'll try to implement one feature of Twitter. Twitter has many features like tweeting, retweeting, writing some comments, putting some likes, and so on. This time, we'll do only basic things like tweeting. In this session, I assume that you have some experience with Iroha. You know what is a comment, you know what is a query, you know what basically blockchain is. And first of all, let's think, what do we need for building Twitter on top of Iroha? First of all, we'll need one service. So it will be one process that will run and will show us tweets. So if, let's say, somebody is tweeting, it will just show us this user posted this tweet. So it will be a single instance, and it will use a multi-node platform Iroha to store it. Let's think how can it be done. So if it runs, it means that somehow it knows that somebody tweeted, so it will listen to Iroha network. So when something happens there, it will see the event and it will show us. And somebody, the user, will send the event to Iroha. First of all, Iroha has a query called get blocks. It's a block streaming. So we can subscribe on Iroha block stream, and we will get all the blocks as soon as they are committed into Iroha. For this purpose, I have block listener. First of all, we have a stub here. It just opens blocking stub to query using the channel. And it has a method called getBlockObservable, which returns an observable that has a block query response. So it's a simple query. It also has a creator counter, a query counter, a created time. That's all. It doesn't have any field. Here we convert it to proto query. Then we convert to byte array. It's a helper function that I have here, nothing special. Then we create an object, and we call fetch commits, which will send a request, a query to Iroha, and will open a connection. And as soon as we get as soon as some blocks are committed to Iroha, the peer will notify us, and we'll get the block. Then let's see how it works here. So it's a main function that will run. First of all, it loads the Iroha library to work with Java. Now we have block listener. We get observable, and we subscribe to this observable. We get a block, get block response, and then we have to filter, because in the block we have many transactions, we have many comments, we have different data. And let's think about what kind of data do we need. Iroha basically stores assets. Assets are stored in domains, but I don't think somebody can tweet using assets. So I don't know, if we add some asset, if we transfer asset, we're working with numbers. So we cannot tweet hello world using assets. At least I didn't manage to do it. Maybe somebody will. We have account details. So for example, if I set a detail to my account, it's a key value storage. I can just set it as tweet and something. So if in tweet key I put some value like hello world, it will become this comment will be in some transaction. This transaction will be committed to Iroha, and it will be streamed to this service. So we get transaction list, then we get all the comments as one list, then we filter to get only set account detail comments, and we get only the key where the key is tweet, because we don't need anything else. And then for each tweet, we just write the author and the value. That's all. So we have to know who wrote the tweet and what's the value of this tweet. Let's run it. Yeah, here I have already one Iroha node up. Yeah, you see, subscribe to Iroha chain. So we know that it is subscribed. Now let's see the client, the user. Basic user is very simple. We have Iroha client. It's a helper class that has a lot of methods like send transaction, send queries, set account detail, and so on. Let's see what we have here. We have our account ID and Bob in domain main. We set account ID. It's a creator of the transaction and the account to which we set detail. The key is tweet, and let's write my first tweet and set account details. Basically, it builds a transaction and it sends to Iroha. Let's run it. It's compiling. Let's switch here. Something's going on there. Yeah, you see, my first tweet. Here, the transaction was committed. Here we can see some logs from Iroha. So it's stateless success, stateful success. Everything's okay. Then we can do one more. Let's write my second tweet. And let's run it. Let's take a look here. And as soon as the block is committed, we will get a notification, and you see my second tweet. So Bob wrote his second tweet. Let's just write hello world as one more example. Let's run it. That's all. Everything works. As you see, we have just few commands offline, few lines of code. We have some helper functions here, and that's all. Basically, we can build a main Twitter functionality on Iroha very easy. Thank you for your attention.